Hi everyone, my name's Sean, coming to you live on tape from my basement. Um, Wanted to share with you my perspective on hiring and being hired. I've, over the last 15 years, had the opportunity to lead teams and hire tons of people. And then over that same time, I've been hired by a couple of jobs, so I can speak about both sides. Um, I wanted to share that sort of two-sided to give some advice to anyone that's hiring, and then also perspective and a little behind the scenes for people that are looking for work. So hopefully this will be helpful to both sides of the coin. So interviews, I think that's the bulk of hiring. Um, Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but actual research, business schools and organizational psychologists show that they don't predict job performance. Now, I'm not a doctor, I don't have a PhD, but I'm pretty sure that's because most organizations, most people, most hiring managers um, don't do a good job interviewing. It's sad but true. I would say me too. For a long time, I think I was a pretty bad interviewer. I think I'm better now, and I could still be better. But interviewing is one of those things that if you get lucky and you hire people that are okay, you build this mythology in your head that like, oh, I must be good at interviewing. I'm good at the vibes and stuff. But like that is unscientific. And again, you might just be getting lucky. In truth, research does show that left to our own devices, most interviewers just sort of look for people that look like them, sound like them, and sort of pick same. So you end up with clones of yourself. And as a manager, uh, you want a diverse team that has the skills and traits and perspectives and experiences to make the best product, the best software, do the best work. And you don't get that by hiring clones of yourself. This part also supported by research. So, simple advice, and it's advice that applies to a lot of things in life. Before you start interviewing, think about it. Think about what you're looking for, traits and values, skills, everything that's needed for this position. Think about your ideal candidate. What would this person have? What is essential, and then what is negotiable? What would be nice to have? Be clear about it with yourself. If you have the ability to, if you have the autonomy and to make your own process, then go for it. Build the process around something that's respectful to the candidate and really gets to what you're looking for. Try to approach it from different perspectives and make a good process. If you don't know how to make a good process, there's research on this too. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you don't have the autonomy to make your own process and you have to work with a larger organization, you're working with HR, collaborate with HR in a meaningful way. Say, they'd probably be impressed if you came over and said, hey, I did some deep thought and I want these traits and values in the candidate. And, I've got these ideas about the job description. If they're good, hopefully they're your partner to help you find that. So think about it, build a process that finds the thing that you want instead of just sort of stumbling and talking about vibes. So as a job seeker and a job hirer, you should be honest with yourself about your target. So when I talk about target, I talk about the economic and the skill of the candidate and the organization. So Facebook is looking for the best of the best. They say to themselves and to the world, we only want high performers. Any large population maps to a bell curve, and so Facebook says all around the world we want the best of the best programmers, product creators, developers, and because of that, lots of people want to work there. If the stock at a big company is going up, people want to work there. They want that stock. So you got high supply but low demand. Facebook does not need to hire everyone that wants to work there. Conversely, my fake Grubhub knockoff that I just started 5 minutes ago has zero funding, zero customers, zero employees. I am willing to pay very little because I don't have any money. And I got to be honest with myself, I'm looking for a warm body. I just need any person to start working on stuff. So I will be happy with average to below average performers. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But again, as a job seeker and a job haver, you want to be honest with yourself about the money you're looking for, skills you bring to the table, and where you fit into the world. That's tough. It's tough to find if you're trying to do it for yourself. So many places I've worked at have said, "Oh, we only hire the best." But do you? Are you going to pay $500,000? Are you going to have millions of dollars in RSUs? You paying a big signing bonus? Um, high performers don't show up for free. So be honest with yourself about what you're looking for. So you've got your interview process, you've got a target, code challenges. Again, sorry, but like real organizational psychologists found that these challenges don't really predict job performance. And again, it might be because the code challenges are bad or poorly designed, um, but you got to do something, right? Right? Well, if you must, and I would argue, this is another presentation, I would argue maybe you don't have to do a code test, but um, if you have to do an exercise, do a job simulation. And this applies even outside of programming jobs. A job simulation is a great way to you know um, test for traits and values, test for skills that mirrors and simulates the actual day to day. And so what I mean by that is use the real tools. Don't put them in like a garbage text editor, or have them, I don't know, have them make something that you know has no bearing in reality. Like the best would simulate the real job. You'd do a real code review with real code, or you'd collaborate on some code, like work the way your actual company works, and then that helps both you and the candidate know if you'll work well together. And then the best coding challenge also scales for candidate experience. So you could have a core problem that's good for a junior engineer, but then it unlocks and sort of scales in concentric circles. So you have more complexity that you can talk into, more meat to dig into. Um, and then don't get hung up on the actual solution. The point of these job simulations is to see, do they have the traits and values that we're looking for? Not necessarily, do they have the perfect answer? And so this goes back to that introspection at the beginning. Know what you're looking for. That'll make all the difference. I'm sure we've all been on bad coding exercises where you get like a, I don't know, broken text editor, somebody watching you code on a screen, or maybe they're just asking you trivia questions about like the memory usage of linked lists versus arrays. How do you bit shift an array? How do you count the zeros in binary? Um, those arguably are unrelated to the job. And so I'd encourage you to, again, find an exercise that simulates the job. And then once you've got that exercise, this is as a hiring manager, practice. I'm not just saying job seekers practice. I mean, you should practice too, like go through the hacker ranks and the coding challenges, and that builds that muscle and gets your reflexes better for coding exercises. But if you are interviewing, if you're administering a coding challenge, don't just show up and don't just run it, dry the first time. Practice, run the exercise yourself, practice with a colleague, go through it and know what you're looking for and how it works, and that'll make it a better experience for you and the candidate. And then last but not least, again, this goes for everyone, be excited, show up, be easy to work with. um, I could not find research that shows that, like, your attitude uh, in an interview indicates job performance, but I just this is one I just got to personally believe. I feel like so much of work is being affable, collaborative, easy to work with. So if you can show up as the interviewer or as the job seeker and be excited and be fun and uh, collaborative, then that's got to be worth something. So thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you. If there's anything I can do to help out, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Um, Thanks.